Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Oh, it's been a while, but we're here. We're back. It's bumbling time.
I'm going to bumble through these questions that come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Yep, that's right. As always, we're going to jump right on into it with Allison S. starting us off. This is a bit of a weird question, but I haven't seen anything about this on Google or the master list. Do you think the Phantom of the Opera influenced Infinite's design, given the Ruby name? Or does the former theater kid in me need to touch grass? Fun fact, I think Japan's Takarazuka Phantom production is based off a different musical than the more famous one by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Interesting fact.
I honestly don't know.
I have no idea. I mean, he is a freaking drama queen.
I think it's more, the color palette of the mask, but if it was the inspiration, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know myself at all.
All right, here's one from Alolan Figment. What would the New Yoke, Boskage, Maze, and No Place variants of the Hooligans be like? And what would it say about the real Bark, Bean, and Fang?
In New Yoke, I imagine they'd be like a street gang, jets or sharks or, street toughs, hooligans of some kind.
Wow.
Appropriate, I know. In Boskage, maybe they're big game hunters, like almost Monster Hunter-esque, given the size of some of the fauna we've seen. And No Place, they're pirates. Everybody's pirates. Pirates galore. Maybe they specifically pirate other pirates, but since everybody's pirates, they're already pirating pirates. So it's a trifle redundant.
Pirating the pirates. When the pirates pirate the pirates, who pirates the pirates?
And the fun thing would be just seeing Force of Habit. Fang's hat change from
Tisk
Shadowverse to Shadowverse. Like imagine something like Bowler Derby in New York, and maybe Muldoon's game hunter hat at a Jurassic Park for Boskage.
Yeah.
And then, clearly a pirate hat for No Place.
Of course. All right, here's a question from Andrew D. You've stated once before that the modern Sonic games generally take place in the order they released. I'd be surprised if there weren't exceptions to this, but since I know you can't really talk about the timeline for the time being, would you at least be able to say if the recent modern games, starting from Frontiers up until now, take place in the order they were released? As well as if we can expect future modern releases, remakes aside, to also take place in release order unless stated otherwise? I figured maybe you could answer at least this, since it's in the current and recent state of Sonic, and not the cleanup of its confusing history that you and the lore team are secretly working on. If you can't answer this, though, then sorry for asking.
Well, when I say they generally take place in a certain order, that does leave room for there to be exceptions, because the exceptions are not generally it. Generally means generally, not ironclad, not universal. It's just most of the time, which belies exceptions. And no, I'm not answering timeline questions at all.
Frontiers is actually the first Sonic game in the timeline.
Kyle, I will come to Arizona and pull your nose hairs out.
Well, hey, at least you'll be here. And Tails has a question. Please transplant Cosmo into the Boom universe and describe a scenario where there's a love triangle between her, Tails, and Zooey. Why? That's not fair to Tails. Why does he need another love triangle? He's been through enough.
I do enjoy the word choice, though, of transplant Cosmo.
Okay, that is funny. Okay, that kind of got me.
And you don't even call into question that she's an alien. She's just, she runs a greenhouse out in the jungle. She's just the nice lady with the botany space. Everybody's cool with Cosmo. And that's the thing, is Cosmo is just a chill, nice person. And Zoe's just kind of a chill, nice person. So since this is Boom, if you're going to have the angst of a love triangle, it's all going to be in Tails' head. Like he realizes he's caught feelings for Cosmo. He's like, no, I have to be true to Zoe, but I pine for Cosmo. But what will they say to each other? I don't want to drive a wedge of jealousy between them. And he's just imagining them bickering and fighting. And they have zero idea that this is going on. They're perfectly good friends.
It turns out that Cosmo and Zoe are dating.
I mean, why not? That's the resolution. Is Tails has worked himself up to such a froth over this imaginary angst scenario, and they're like, "What is going on with you? You are a mess." And he's like, "I don't want to tear this apart." And they're like, "What are you even talking about? We're all going to lunch together. Come on."
That's right. Good. Tails has 2 tails and 2 hands. All right, here's one from Arc Beetle. In the May 6, 2024 BumbleKast, Kyle said you never watched any anime in your lives. That statement was an obvious joke, so I asked both of you, which anime have you watched 100%? If none, I doubt it, which anime have you watched the most? You can't answer Sonic X.
Kyle, you want to go first? I imagine you have a shorter list.
Furikuri. That's my list. I think.
Alrighty,
I'm trying to think if I have watched another show in full. Oh wait, no, hold on. I did watch Chrono Crusade. That's right. The first half of that was way better than the second half. So anyway, yes, those are the 2 I've seen in full.
I saw Furikuri 2. All of the Tenchi Muyo stuff, both the cable edit and the full version, and Universe and Tokyo. Let's see. Outlaw Star, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which should be required watching by all sentient life. Thank you very much. Tapatunga Gurren Lagann. What else? I guess we'll count the Darkstalkers OVA. Oof. I still maintain that the first episode, that's really solid.
Well, if we're counting OVAs, then I've seen the Tales of Symphonia OVA. Does that count?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Does the Sonic movie count? The 2-part OVA that they made into one?
Yeah, it's anime.
Yeah, okay.
The Tales of the Abyss anime, that's pretty solid. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then the Tales of Zestiria one. Oy vey. And I know I'm forgetting stuff, but I've seen a few.
Yeah, you are a anime. You know the animus. I don't know very much about it.
Oh, I'm caught up on My Hero Academia up to season 7.
Mm-hmm. Did you say Cowboy Bebop?
I did not say Cowboy Bebop, but that's kind of just assumed, you know?
I've never seen it.
Well, that's because you're a godless heathen.
Well, I know that.
Okay. And Aaliyah and I went through Bocchi the Rock. You would love Bocchi the Rock.
Why?
It's about a band that comes together through all their various personal quirks, and the lead character is just absolutely devastated by her own social anxiety, and it's a story about her coming out of her shell, sometimes quite literally given the visual metaphors, and the group just kind of gelling and becoming a band and finding their sound and going out there. And the music freaking rocks. So that one I can recommend to you without any hesitation. You would love Bocchi the Rock.
Okay, this looks familiar. Like I've seen mention of this before. So, okay. All right. Maybe I'll watch something. Maybe. I'm apparently being bribed into watching Cowboy Bebop. I'll do it. It's just like, I just haven't. It's not like I'd have anything against it. I don't know, man. I'll just bunk the mic. It's fine. Here's a question from Aura. If Whisper's weapon was disabled or unavailable, could Whisper use her Wisp's friend's power by combining it with them like Sonic did in Colors?
I know we've touched on this in the past, and the answer is we don't know.
Yeah, it would be pretty freaking sweet if she could, though. Here's one from OzJam. The 7th season of the MHA anime has now started at the time of this question. No spoilers. But to make it a relevant question, let's look at another divisive character. Katsuki Bakugo, or rather Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite, if you will. The main rival for our protagonist, Izuku. He is a character that many find interesting in terms of his portrayal, i.e. a hot-headed, foul-mouthed egotist that, while abrasive, goes on to develop more from those early chapters. However, it is that early introduction where he's at his worst, with him being more abusive towards Izuku, and even series author Koei Horikoshi thinking that he made him way too aggressive in the first chapter, even being surprised by his popularity, thinking most would hate him. Regardless, he's still a fan favorite, and I wanted to know what your thoughts on him are. how do you enjoy his character so far? And do you think him being worse at the beginning makes up for his later development?
I think it's an interesting arc. And there is a lot of themes throughout the series of people being less than they should be and being inspired to be better. And with Bakugo, especially, I feel like something that doesn't get brought up enough is he was a gifted individual. From the very get-go, he had a very interesting quirk, one with great potential. He was praised for it. Everyone said, oh, you're going to be full of potential. You're going to go far, kid. And he was put on a pedestal. He was, the popular kid growing up. And that goes to your head. If everyone around you tells you how smart and successful and creative and full of potential you are, young kids don't have a filter. They don't have any kind of perspective to base it on. So yeah, it went to his head. And you had Deku clinging to him, and Deku was everything Bakugo was not. He was the clingy little detritus thing. And because he has been pumped up so much, he was not gracious about it. And kids can be mean. They can be stupid. They can be aggressive. And you have Bakugo's entire mindset of wanting to be a hero on the same level as All Might, driving him to be everything everyone tells him he's going to be. And what he took away from All Might's persona was to be that unstoppable force, this heroic power that levels anything in its path. And because all he does is throw explosions, that's how it's cycled into his mind. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I'm just trying to get into his headspace. So then you have Deku suddenly out of nowhere gain incredible power, is going to the same prestigious school as he is when he has no business being there. And now that they're outside of their usual clique, Deku is finding an audience. He's finding friends. He's becoming socially accepted, and Bakugo's no longer at the top of the pecking order. His entire worldview, his entire comfort zone has been shattered, and it's being thrown for a loop. And it's all because of Deku. That's not fair, but you can see where he would make that connection. So you have someone who is built up, who's been built up so much, and then is forced into a scenario where he's completely out of his comfort level, and his perception of himself and the world around him is falling apart. And the way he's always dealt with it is in an aggressive manner. It leads to confrontation. And he's also a hothead. That doesn't help matters. So I see where he's coming from. He was absolutely an abusive jerk. There's no two ways about that. But part of his story is that kind of personal fall from grace and learning from it and seeing, yeah, he needs to be better if he wants to be the hero that he always aspires to be. It's not just simply go out there and blow up stuff. Being a hero means more than that. All Might means more than that. And I think another thing that's also lost is he isn't just a grouchy explosion man. He's actually gifted. He's a talented cook. He's a studious student. He is very disciplined. All the other kids are hanging out in the dorm having fun. He goes to bed at a regular time so he can get up in the morning and do everything he needs to do. He is devoted to his personal cause, which is to be a hero on the level of All Might. And I feel like that gets overlooked a bit because of all the screaming and shouting and explosions and abuse. That does kind of muddy the waters a little bit. So all in all, I think he's an interesting counterpoint to Deku. And I think he's an interesting exploration of what this particular world can do to someone who is born into it under certain circumstances.
Alrighty. Let's move on to this question from Bring Back the Freedom Fighters. If you were to take the Titan boss music tracks and apply them to iconic Archie or IDW moments, which music or scenes would you combine?
I am not familiar enough with the Titan tracks to say, honestly.
What? The boss themes from Frontiers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know them, but they aren't the kind of tracks that I go back and listen to like some of the other vocal tracks. Mm-hmm. They're just not my particular wavelength, I guess. That's not to say that they're bad. It's just they're not the kind of music I normally go out and listen to. So it's like, oh, that was cool for the moment. I'm good.
Okay.
I mean, if you are a big fan of it, you, the general listener, please, by all means, comment below and say, you idiot, this is what you should have said. And you might even phrase it that way. I don't mind. I'm not proud.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It might get caught by the filter, but I'll allow it through. It's fine. Butter Noodles has a question. If you were to create a Scourge today, what would he be like? What'd be different? And before you say that's just Surge, I mean, like if you made an alternate universe evil Sonic today specifically.
Well, no, because Surge and Scourge are different characters. They have different hangups. They have different origins. They explore different facets of a Sonic parallel. There are certainly parallels you can make between them, but they are very distinctly different characters.
Yes, they have different personalities. The way they react to things is different. I mean, Surge wears pants. Yeah,
I think what for me made Scourge so interesting was his philosophical hangups on being the knockoff.
Yeah.
Surge is insulted that her life was robbed to be made into this. Scourge had no choice. That's what his entire existence is. He is the evil Sonic. So I feel like that needs to be intrinsic to who he is. And I feel like you could revisit that with the Shatter Space.
Yeah.
Like Sonic made an oopsie and he created all these parallel realities. So not only is Scourge a knockoff of the Prime, but he's not even intentional. He is an accident. His entire existence is because of a mistake.
Oh, oof.
And if you need something to drive a lot of anger, there you go.
Oh, man.
And because we're doing, the general sci-fi trope of the mirror universe, you can do anti-Mobius all over again pretty easy. So I feel like that's been teed up rather nicely.
Yeah. Yep. All right, here's a question from KB. Chris Thorndike, Princess Elise, and Tom Wachowski all meet and have a conversation about their own personal experiences with their respective Sonics. How does it go? Also, in this scenario, Elise remembers everything that happened in 06.
I think they're all generally charmed at just how uplifting and positive and heroic Sonic is, no matter who he is, no matter which one they interact with.
Across dimensions, yes.
Yeah, maybe Tom's is a little more immature. Maybe, really, what's that big of a difference between X and modern, aside from art style? But they are all just good people, and they enrich the lives that they touch. And Tom thinks about just how much Sonic has grown in such a short time, and how much he's matured. And Elise thinks about how he opened up her heart and helped her find her emotional center and just really changed her life. And Chris is like, yeah, he tried to go home and I shut the door in his face. And they just kind of look at him. He's like, but I was sad.
Yeah. And he's like a child, so, but still. Tisk. Chaos Sonic 1 has a question. Nega is alive, and now it is said, that is a fan idea, and you're free, Ian. Eggman Nega is dead. Ding Dog, the bad character, is dead.
I appreciate the effort, but it don't work like that.
He said that Eggman Nega is alive. No. Well, maybe. Sega does whatever it wants. It's not going to stop you. Sega don't care about your fan ideas. It's only Ian that cares. Cherry Hearts You has a question. How much wood would a Mobian woodchuck chuck if a Mobian woodchuck could chuck wood?
About 3 cords an hour.
Wow. Impressive.
And we're back, and we're starting off with our weekly giveaway question. Everyone who follows us on our Blue Sky, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Facebook gets the chance to have their question answered on the show free of charge. This week's winner is
Michael for Numbers from Blue Sky. Do you think a Sonic game based on a specific IDW arc, such as the Metal Virus, would do well commercially? I would personally love a game adaptation, as it would honestly be amazing, and I'm surprised this hasn't been done yet.
I would hope so. I don't know how any of the marketing strategy works on these things. Honestly, I am not a business person. I do not know the thoughts that go into crafting a game in such a way to be marketable or appealing to a large audience. I mean, Sonic's been consistently a solid seller. Otherwise, we wouldn't have as many titles as we do now. But I would think if you did an IDW adaptation game, you wouldn't want to lean into that aspect in terms of marketing. Because I feel like if the general populace were to get that, it's like, oh, so this is what? Leftovers? Reheated?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I need to read something to understand this? Just make sure that it's accessible. If it were a Metal Virus game, so to say, just push how cool the core concept is. Sonic fighting robot zombies. Don't focus on it being IDW. The hardcore fans will get it.
Oh, yeah.
They'll like it. But for the general audience, it would be just like, here's this cool new adventure that Sonic's doing.
Yes. Don't make people read books. Read books.
I don't know how well Metal Virus would translate to your typical Sonic game, but then again, I'm not a game designer, so what do I know?
All right. Comic the Hedgehog has a question. The Green Hill City Council passes a law requiring all citizens, regardless of gender, to be fully clothed when outdoors or in public places. Which of the male characters comply and which ones refuse?
Well, the Chaotix are going to comply. They're law-abiding citizens. Tails will comply. He's a good boy. Big looks you dead in the eye and says, I'm already wearing pants. And you agree.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I mean, you try to stop Sonic. You tell Shadow what to do. Good luck.
No pants
Knuckles
will
was on
restrict...
Angel Island. That council has no authority over him.
No pants will restrict Sonic or Shadow. Sonic says, if you can catch me, you can clothe me. Terrible. Oh, man. Cool Christy One has a question. Do you guys think that Boom Knuckles is a little autistic? The girls should go crazy over him. Everything he says is a comedic slap on the hip. I don't know how those things are related.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the connective tissue to that one, but I'm not particularly comfortable, even in a joking fashion, connecting Knuckles' comedic, cartoonish buffoonery to actual autism. I feel like that's borderline insulting. So I'm going to say no out of respect to those with autism.
Yeah. Dawson the Dachshund has a question. Eggman wants to announce Sage to the world in the loudest and proudest way possible. By Lion King raising her to the sky for all to see. Full circle of life treatment on his own custom-made Pride Rock. And Cubot singing the chorus. How does it go? What is a Cubot?
Because it's funny.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
He didn't actually read any of the lyrics. He's just making noises.
Okay, good.
But you're thinking too small. A singular Pride Rock on the ground? No. If Eggman's going to announce his little girl to the world, he's going back up to the Ark. He's bringing it just low enough so that its speakers can hit the atmosphere and blast out globally.
Yes.
And the Eclipse cannon has been retrofitted to make a laser light show that is just etching into the sky, quite literally, the declaration that she is here and you will bow down to serve her.
Incredible. That's amazing. I want this.
It can still be Cubot on the mic.
Yeah.
Singing it, but Circle of Life, but
yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. It's good stuff. I like that one. Thank you. DDR Master M has a question. How do Blaze, Big, and Honey react to the most terrifying of enemies to cats? The pickle!
Blaze sets it on fire, Honey punches it, and Big thinks it's Froggy, so they hang out for the rest of the day.
I thought you were going to say Big eats it, but no, I guess that makes more sense. Is it cucumbers or pickles
it's
that they're scared of?
I wasn't going to...
You were going to correct them on their own?
Yeah, just roll with it. It's fine.
What is a pickle if not just a cucumber pickled?
Exactly.
Big eats the pickle. and just stares at the cucumber. But then again, he stares at everything, so what else is new? Dewdrop has a question. Reverse Isekai! We're sending a multiverse-hardened and slightly emotionally matured Starline to IDW Issue 1, taking everything he's learned from advising countless despots to try and change his fate any way he can. The catch is that he will look like a common duck Nermi and be unable to say, write, or charade that he is a future Starline. No shortcuts. I'll go.
You ever heard the expression, 2 birds with 1 stone?
Oh no. Why?
Back myself up.
Why?
I hope you're laughing as hard as I am.
I mean, I am. I'm laughing. But I laugh at everything, to be fair, but still.
I mean, Starline the Younger is not going to listen to anyone, let alone someone who is clearly not him. And Starline the Elder is not going to give up because he's so close. He can fix this. He's learned so much. He's come so far. And what up, up.
Oh, man. And the Isekai adventures continue. How many times has he had to go back and relive his experience? Now, this is like probably maybe like the 4th or 5th time he's gone back.
There's a lot of plushies to be made, man.
I mean, true. All right, Double L has a question. This is kind of a weird question for both of you, but with all the years of answering questions, have you started to notice patterns emerging with what we ask? Like, do you notice people having periods where their questions are, for example, a little unsure, then more confident, then weird? Did you read this question and go, great, DL is in his asking meta questions phase, only a few more before he tries to be funny? Basically, do we have noticeable arcs?
None that I've particularly noticed. I do know when, some of our more regular contributors have particular tastes in questions. They have a focus, and it's like, okay, so if we have this person asking, they're probably going to be asking along these lines.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I'm right. But, beyond that, I'm not going to analyze or judge. You ask what you want, and I will answer to the best of my ability.
Yeah. It is funny, though, to know who's like, oh, yeah, I know what they're asking about. It's like, all right, well, here we go. Yep, I know you. I know what you're here for. I know what you're up to. It's fine. E200 Paragon has a question. Continuing from my previous question about the Master Emerald, you said that Super Mecha Sonic and Super Neo Metal Sonic were legit super forms because they turned 24 karat. But unless Sega retconned it, that form can only be granted by the Chaos Emerald's energy. Likewise, we see in Frontiers that the Master Emerald hijacked the Chaos Emeralds to force the Ancients to land on Earth. Thus, to reiterate my questions, does the Master Emerald use the same energy as the Chaos Emeralds or not?
I don't know.
Nobody knows. Not even Sega. They haven't decided yet, if they ever will. Emil C has a question. Eggman meets Afton from Five Nights at Freddy's. How does it go?
Afton.
Who is Afton?
Give me a minute here.
Are there like actual characters in Five Nights at Freddy's? Afton is the guy who killed the kids. Oh, okay. He's the main.
Oh, wait, I thought that was Purple Man. Or does Purple Man have a name?
I guess that's his name. That's the same guy. Okay. That's what I'm being told.
I know virtually nothing about FNAF.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know there were actual characters in it. I thought it was just animatronics.
Like, I don't know. Eggman will blow up a planet, but I think, direct child murder might be actually a step too far for him. So.
Really? Wow. I'm surprised. He's trying to murder Sonic, and I mean, technically in some worlds, Sonic would be considered a child. He wouldn't murder Tails if he had the chance.
But Tails has earned that honor. I mean, look at all that he's accomplished.
Tails has earned the chance to be killed. Okay.
That's like an honorable combat.
Sure.
Purple Man's like a serial murderer crazy guy or something.
Tails deserves to die. That's what Ian
Eggman
Flynn
has standards, okay?
Tails deserves to die. Ian Flynn 2024.
I don't know. Maybe he grabs him by the back of the head and just shoves him under the rock with Starline last second.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Anyway, question for Fang. My question is a Knuckles series question for both of you. What did y'all think of the miniseries on Paramount Plus? And spoilers for those who haven't seen it, but what did y'all think of the Flames of Disaster musical with the movie Knuckles canonically fighting Iblis in the movie universe, the Shadow probably being a bowler? Spoilers.
Yeah, I've not actually had a chance to sit down and watch it yet.
Yep.
But the way that they're adapting different elements in such different ways is interesting.
Yeah.
Like saying Knuckles' fiery power comes from Iblis is just so different that it's just kind of neat. It's like, all right.
That's the direction you're going. All right, let's do it. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm like, yeah, that's all right. Sweet. I mean, if you're going to pull from 06, why not? Frozen Apple Juice has a question. The Chaotix finished a mission on Angel Island, but oh no, Heavy falls off the side. If he reaches the ocean, it could cause a tsunami. How did the rest of the team prevent disaster?
Well, just one of them grabs a sling ring and says, hold.
Yep. I feel like we did this. Didn't we do this?
We've done this joke before. I don't remember the context.
Was it this person? Was it this one? I might have accidentally put this one in here. Yeah, although, Heavy is so heavy that if he was going to hit the ocean and cause a tsunami, you'd think it would, then if they tried to do that, it would cause the island to, tilt. Would turn it in from Angel Island into Angle Island.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Oh well. Geo Knuckles has a question. Which Sonic characters would Demon Slayer's Mitsuri and Nezuko get along with?
I mean, all of them, because they're just such wonderful people, but specifically, Mitsuri and Amy would be besties. I feel like that's just a no-brainer. They're kindred spirits. And Nezuko and Cream just need to have a play date.
Mm-hmm.
It would be wholesome and wonderful and fun.
Well, there you go. And our last question is from Gideon W. In a swap of ultimates, how do things go if Samus Aran, the Ultimate Warrior, was replaced by Shadow, the Ultimate Life Form?
I want to see that just have Shadow get hung up on the baby.
Why? Why are you like this, Ian? Why do you do this? Although when you say Samus Aran and then the Ultimate Warrior, I'm thinking of the Ultimate Warrior from WWF. The wrestler. I'm thinking of the old...
She's part Chozo. She could have the little tassels on her.
That guy was insane. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
He can spin dash. That's Morph Ball S. He can throw Chaos Spears. That's a projectile attack.
Yeah, he was a freaking crazy person.
Not Ultimate. Shadow.
Oh.
Shadow
is also a crazy person, to be fair.
Shadow's also a biomechanical construct to some degree. Maybe he can interface with the Chozo tech.
Yeah.
When he grabs a missile upgrade, maybe he just throws one. How does that work? Shut up. That's how.
Is he actually mechanical? Is that a thing?
No, he's got to be purely biological, I would think. I'm assuming.
Is he a shadow android? Oh no.
Because Eggman's androids are able to replicate him pretty well, and I'm assuming they're all artificial. How constructed is Shadow? How was he made in the literal sense? I don't know. I'm just imagining that's how we get a Hyper Shadow, is he gets the Hyper Beam.
But see what you did there. I see what you did there. Well.
He's no stranger to slaughtering aliens, so sure, he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Every planet he's on would not be, but he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, we're going to end off the BumbleKast by pissing off Shadow fans. I guess that's just Tuesday.
How is saying he kicks everybody's ass pissing them off?
You said he was like mechanical.
No, I didn't.
You mentioned him. That's the thing. That's what you did. You talked about him. Also, it's not Tuesday, but you know.
If you want to further bait me into putting my foot in my mouth, go over to patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or become a YouTube member. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Or will we? Yeah, we will.
The baby. This is what you wanted, wasn't it, Maria? A chance to protect the baby.
Should be confused by all of my statements. It's okay. I'm confused by my own statements as well. What would the New York Baskets You can tell it's been a while since we've done the show because I can't speak. Wait a minute, hold on, that's normal. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Huh.
Oof. Oof. Big oof. Any plans for the 10 terabyte anniversary? I don't know. You send me a 10 terabyte hard drive, I'll put it to use. Any plans for the 10th anniversary? No. You think we plan that far ahead?
You're lucky we're even recording today.
You're lucky we're here. You're lucky we're still here. 10 years of bumbling. Oh, we've been bumbling for a lot longer than that. It's just bumble casting.